Hi everyone and welcome back to SunBurst Tarot, where today we're going to be doing a reading. We're going to kind of kick this off, where this week we're going to be doing like a reading on the Warrens and some of their big cases. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to be having a reading just on the Warrens, and then as well as some of their more famous cases. So check her on out if you would like. So first things first, remember everything I'm saying is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. So no facts here, you'll just my opinion, psychic downloads, and the such. So if you want to use what I'm saying to help form your own thoughts, opinions, and conclusions, please do so. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So first things first, what we're going to kick this off with is we're going to be taking a look at Ed and Lorraine Warren. I want to take a look at them together, separate, and the such to take a look at their cases. Who were they? Were they really that successful of a couple? Were their abilities? Were they not? What? Or were there scammers? So with that, I want to take a look first at the just a general energy of the couple themselves, and then kind of go into like a deeper dive of like abilities and like their actual personal beliefs and the such. So let's take a look at just their relationship in general. So this is all built upon the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So bad luck, bad opportunities. It definitely feels like they were always trying to make a quick buck, trying to do this, trying to do that, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. They might have had money issues within their marriage, where it's like, we have money, then we don't have money. We have money, then we don't have money. Why is this? Because were there extramarital affairs going on? Were there other partners? Because when I see the lovers, it's like, okay, they're together, their relationship built off of money, da 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 da. However, when I'm seeing this here, it's like giving me like they have extramarital affairs, like did both of them have it? Because like it's like we're all it's like we have bad luck, bad opportunity because of the things that we also might be engaging with or attempting to engage with essentially the death person up on top. That is death. That is the devil in most tarot decks, right? The lovers are looking up towards the devil in some of them. Also here with the volcano erupting in the background, it's giving me here that this relationship, there's always seemed to be turbulence in the background. They can never get on the same page all the time, most of the time, but it was a very passionate relationship as well. And over here, I'm getting drawn to the Garden of Eve, like as you can see on Eve's side in this card. She's got the beautiful apple tree, and then on Adam's side, he's got like this giant tree of just flames. So, what I get here, it's almost like one was the creator or brought peace, the other one was kind of like, I don't know, was hellfire. Uh, Always kind of burning things down for someone to create anew. Because from financial influences here, the world reversed, but this is a ghost on the card. I don't know if they both truly believed in ghosts. I'm hearing yes, but at the same time, it's like they were trying to reveal the curtain back on certain things. With this being a ghost, too, I also get that there might be some shady practices when it comes to money. We were doing one thing always and then kind of went and kept doing things that same way. Uh, Also, I don't know what's going on with their museum because also this is like uh, the haunted mansion, which I know in Disney, like there's all these cool things that you got going on there with that haunted mansion. That's what this card is built off of. But like it's always giving me like, yeah, we kind of built up our reputation on not fantasy, but more on things that we kind of believe in. We have different items, objects, and the such. Also, their museum, I don't know if that was as successful as they thought it was going to be. I'm hearing yes, but there's not everything there. There's a story attached to it, but those stories might not. Is every story true? I'm hearing no, but it might be because they were giving the wrong story. Their hopes and fears, it's like they wanted to create something for themselves. Again, it's like in this relationship, we were always looking to create, do new things. They wanted a baby of their own. I don't know if they had kids, but it's like they wanted to create something that they could have a long lasting legacy even after they were gone. It's like the magician reverse. Like we want to have something that's long lasting, manifestations, bringing forth. This is also Dr. Frankenstein in this card, which is like I want to create something that lasts beyond me. Um, Looking at the horrors and monsters and stuff that they were really investigating, I'm not shocked to see this here. Unseen obstacles, though, for them. The strength card upright. Both of them are very strong willed within this relationship. Again, and we're seeing the 3, 4, 5. There were more than just them in their relationship. I'm kind of just getting this. Three is a crowd, three people, three different heads. Everyone kind of had a different take, in my opinion, here. Negative influences here. Also, they kept a lot of secrets. We don't know much about this couple. We don't know much actually about what was really going on behind closed doors. I'm not sure if this would ever get released or the such, but they have secrets upon secrets upon secrets. Uh, because what was going for them is this could be just the escape from their vices, and the such. But what I'm getting here is this is their attachment to the dark and the dank, who they're collaborating with, whether this is in a spiritual form or if this is in a more material 3D form. So I don't know who they were connecting with. I don't know what groups that they were, colluding with and the such. This is always my triangle people card. If you've been around, that's what we're known for. Here in the past with the temperance card reversed. They were always trying to find a balance. They were able to maintain a balance between their very high highs and their very low lows. Again, this relationship was one of was like ups and downs, ups and downs. Because here in the future, the Tower card reverse, which is avoiding disaster, there's a lot of skeletons in this couple's closet. I don't think they're gonna ever come out, but they have been able to avoid disaster. They have been able to avoid a lot of things just due to time occurring, and also people just wanting to get their bag essentially. Again, I don't think that they're bad or ill intentioned, but there is a definite sense here of like, not everything is as it seems. There's, again, so many secrets about this couple and their relationship and their connections with triangle people, which I was not expecting at all, which is very odd. Why do they always have to show up when you least expect them, right? So, what we're going to take a look at here is I want to take a look at Ed's energy. I want to take at Lorraine's energy. And then I actually want to take a look at their, about how did they really feel about a lot of their investigations, and the such. So, let's take a look at Ed Warren's energy when it came to their investigations, putting things together, the popularity that they've gained, putting out all of these haunted stories, and the such. So let's just take a look at his energy when it came to that. So the high priestess, he was one that was very in tune. In tune, in with his higher knowing, looking at the scriptures, looking at and putting things together. Why is this? The Empress card. Financial influences, hopes and fears. Was he actually the leader of this whole thing? Like, what I'm getting here was like he the actual leader of this whole duo. I get yes, but he heavily relied on Lorraine to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. All this energy, this the high priestess along with the empress card. This is giving me like, was he the one that maybe was the organizer to things? Yes, but Lorraine was the powerhouse. Lorraine was the one who really he wanted to showcase because of her abilities and the things that she had. She definitely had something with the high priestess and the empress here. Like, this is someone who is like a major uber, like, I can connect in with the spirits of beyond and really check in with things or even power shit up. because from a financial influence with the lovers upright, it's like we're in this as a partnership when it comes to the investigations, the putting things together. He was the each couple, it feels like you have the flighty one and the grounded one. You balance each other out. Ed over here feels like the grounded one to Lorraine's flighty nature that kept these two working in a very symbiotic relationship. Hopes and fears here with the Nine of Wands reversed. I see this as my deprogramming card. This is also like I've seen it as deprogramming. I'm not getting deprogramming here. What this is giving me is Ed, I almost feel like there are some points where Ed, in my opinion here, would gas up Lorraine to maybe think of something more or read into things more. Does he gas up her psychic abilities? Depends on the time. It feels like some cases, yes. Like he was able to ground her so she's able to then really connect in with things. And then there were other times where his own thoughts and opinions skewed her findings or skewed her what she thought of a situation because of what he had said or research that he had done and or had said to her beforehand is kind of what this is feeling like. There's influence here. Influence into a lot of what was going on, especially when it comes to Lorraine. Because the unseen obstacles here, the Nine of Swords, there's also a very big worry here. I don't know what was going on, but there's a lot of worry. There's a lot of anxiety about him and his energy in this whole dynamic. So I don't know if he was trying to like hook onto her, keep her around. Because I also get here, it's like I need to keep her because she's my meal ticket. Uh, I don't know. These two, again, like from I said before, were not in a happy relation. They were happy, but it was a toxic relationship, in my opinion. As a negative influence here, the Ace of Pentacles. Again, I keep seeing money issues. Was he a big spender? Were there gambling issues? It's like we couldn't keep money in our pockets to save our life at one point in time here. What was going for them, though, the Four of Cups. He had a lot of other offers, it feels like, and he was very grounded, but he didn't have a lot of access to his emotions as well. And this is kind of one thing I'm feeling from Ed. Again, Nine of Swords. He's got a lot of freaking worry as well. Especially when because it almost feels like I don't know if Lorraine almost left him a few times. I'm hearing yes. And he's like, I can't lose her because like we work together, we had this business together, da 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 da. And like, he also had to like, he had to, in my opinion, to not take some offers and or deals because here in the past there's the death card reverse. He did not want to change himself or this relationship or this dynamic because here in the future we got money, we got stuff. It's like we made our choices that we had so we can reap the benefits of what those are in the future. Again, this is Ed's energy. And looking at this is like also I feel this is like good karma for him when it comes to the stuff that he was doing, which is interesting and odd. But I also see that as legal agreements and the such. So just looking at Ed's like, I just need to be attached to Lorraine because she's very, very, like, she's connected. And I don't doubt Lorraine's abilities. If someone does, I would like to say, not with the Empress and and the High Priestess showing up. Nah, but he could not lose her is the big feeling here. It's like he could not lose her. So what's going on with Lorraine? What was Lorraine's energy when it comes to everything going on with like the paranormal investigations and all of that. The Temperance card reversed. Okay. And why is this the Six of Cups? Okay, so what I'm seeing here for Lorraine is a loose cannon. Not in like the bad way, but in a way of like she's a very, very ungrounded person. She's very ungrounded. She also has a lot of stuff from her past and her childhood, which I think maybe had activated gifts or those such things, which really impacted her way of looking at the spiritual realm. Also, her ability to be taken advantage of by others. Because the Temperance card is like, shit. Also, were there like claims that maybe she had like major like mental disorders, or like she could go from 0 to 100 really quick, especially with this Temperance card reversed? It's like she's connected in, but she's not connected in. Again, I also get that she's easily influenced by energies around her because she's not having strong boundaries with the living. So how could you have strong boundaries with like the dead? Because up here in financial influences, when it comes to dish investigation stuff, she's like, it's like I could do it or I couldn't. It was all for her. A lot of it was like I was good at it. I made money at it. I felt kind of fulfilled by it. Uh, Also, she was able to nurture other people around her, and she was kind of blind to a lot of the maybe more shady stuff that was going on around her. As we see, this figure is blindfolded in this card, so it's like I just do what I gotta do. I just do what I'm told to do, and I do it from there. It's not like she had a ton of control when it came to everything over here. Also, she felt like Ed, in my opinion, here was her soulmate, was her forever. This is a swan in this card, and swans, when they get together, they mate for life. Uh, Again, though, I do see extramarital affairs still, but Ed was her like forever, in like her partner in this whole thing, when it came to the paranormal, these investigations, and the such. Because the unseen obstacle for her is that she worked very hard to get where she's at. Also, this is again what I'm almost seeing too is she definitely had the gift. But like her hard work that she put into it, this became her life. So instead of her being Lorraine Warren, she became, instead of just being Lorraine Warren, she became Lorraine Warren Psychic Medium, which is two very different people. You can still be Lorraine Warren, but if you're going to be Lorraine Warren Psychic Medium, that means that that's just who you are your job. And I think that was something that she struggled with. It was like she was just her job. She was essentially being used as like a channeler almost, where I feel like she was almost constantly in channel mode. She did not have a lot of like downtime, which is actually very draining. Uh, so it's like, and it can be like, oh, I'm taking on everyone else's energy around me rather than say just being in my energy, which one is dangerous, two is draining AF, and three, you kind of lose who you are in that process. It's like, well, whose energy am I actually in? Again, she doesn't have very strong boundaries with the living, so that translates into she not have strong boundaries with the dead. As yeah, she was just a channeling machine. That's what it is. The negative influence here is Nine of Cups. This is She was a channeling machine. She An example that I can give. So you know how like they had like the oracles of Delphi. She would have been an oracle, like a high-ranking oracle of Delphi, if she was born back in the time of when the oracle of Delphi was like really big. She could just be a straight channeler because of how much she can do, and she was really good at it, and she's good at it in this lifetime, and that's what she became. She became essentially the Oracle of Delphi of her time. But that was still easily influenced by others around her. Because then, what was going for her, though, the King of Wands, this could be Ed. Is this Ed? Is this her actual partner? Is this her married? Is this who she married? Oh, that was a no. So, whoever this King of Wands is, there is a King of Wands type of individual around her. Whether this was a friend, a confidant, or someone else, there was like a strong leader in her corner that she felt very connected to, that helped her with her passions and the such. Here in the past, the Death card as well. Did she experience deaths? Like when she was younger? Did she have like a near death experience when she was younger that kind of like kickstarted a lot of the stuff that she was feeling in the day? Like, like as she was going. I mean, I've talked to a few people who have had near death experiences, and after people have near death experiences, and like they've survived those. A lot of the time I've like known some people who've like they've gained like psychic intuition or abilities or gifts after that. So I wonder, did she have like a near death experience that kind of kickstarted a lot of this stuff where she was starting to see things, she didn't understand it, and then it kind of, especially when she was born, I think she was born in like the 30s or the 40s. It's like that was like that time frame in the United States. Like if you were starting to see things, that kind of was not it. That was kind of a no go. So like think about it. If she had like a near death experience at like 7, and then all of a sudden she's starting to see shit, and you don't want to get thrown into the loony bin. Like you don't want to get thrown into like the sanatorium, and now you're trying to understand what you're seeing, you're hearing, and you're feeling. You're gonna feel a little bit crazy and all over the place. Because here in the future, the Ten of Cups, she was feeling emotionally fulfilled. She did feel like she found her family. In the future, with this whole paranormal, she found her tribe. She found her people that made her feel like she wasn't crazy for what she was seeing and feeling and the such. Okay. So next I want to take a look. Again, Lorraine, she was the real deal in my opinion. Uh, with Ed, he's very much someone who I'm like, he was very much attached to her. So when it came to some of, and we're going to look into each one of these cases separately, but I want to take a look into when we're looking at them, generally, what was their motivations? Generally, what was the Ed and Lorraine Warren's motive? Like, let's just take a look at their what was their motivations really for doing paranormal investigation? What was the main motive for that? Come on. What was their main motive for doing paranormal investigations? These two. Ace of Cups reversed. Why was it the King of Swords? So their main motivation, it feels like here, was one born of not positive energy, but more of the dark and dank. So it's like we want to go looking at like the negative energies of life, maybe because they were both in like a down point. It's like we were in negative energy, so we're going to so we're going to be able to connect with negative energies. Why is this? 'Cause the King of Swords, someone maybe just said, "Oh, we need you to go. Like we had this thing." Like we want you to check it out, but also this could be contracts. This could be. I also see this as someone going to them, being like, "Hey, we need this person, we need these things kind of checked out, and we might need some, and we want to do some stuff looking with contracts, people, places, and or things." So it's like maybe we can help you, you can help us looking at more things in the dark and dank. Because from a financial influence here, the Five of Cups, they were hard on money. Again, I don't know why I'm getting this is like mafia, this is like promotions, this is like PR things. It's like we're negative emotions here. Someone's coming to us with an offer to do different things, maybe get book deals, maybe get TVs, do. Start doing more stuff with the dark and the dank. Because you guys are hard on money. Maybe you had gambling issues, money issues. You're kind of mourning old things that you do not have. Your hopes and fears, you're wanting to heal from certain parts of you, people, places, things. Maybe that we saw this as a potential momentum shift of, all these things that you thought of were negative about you. Maybe we can turn them into a positive thing. However, unseen obstacles, Knight of Swords, bad deals, people saying one thing, doing another, quickness, swiftness, that is kind of you're making mistakes along the way that's kind of led you into bad agreements and the such. Because the negative influence here was the star reversed. You had to go to the dark and the dank. You also, were they promised fame? Were they promised fortune if they started doing this stuff and then they didn't actually get that fame and the fortune that they were told, like they weren't going to be the biggest, they did not get the star power that they thought they were going to get? Because the positive influence here, it's like you got what you signed up for. You did not go bigger and the best, but also when you're working with the dark and the dank, you're going to be at that level and you're not going to rise or evolve. You're kind of just stay in that monotone state. So it's like they weren't able to grow and evolve, I think, as they could have as people, or connecting up with higher things, or putting out messages that are coming from a higher level than, say, a lower level entity. Because here in the past, the Six of Cups, this is like something that occurred in the past. Again, maybe they both had childhood incidents with ghosts or the spirits and the such, which kind of led them to be like, oh, there's some really nasty shit out there. Like, we should maybe look into this. Because here in the future, the Hermit reverse, they had to get out of their comfort zone. So we're looking at those motivations. Like, they needed to get out of their comfort zone of what they needed, what they wanted. Again, like, I see someone going to them being like, we have this opportunity. They said, sure, why not? They can make some money, that they were down on their luck. Lorraine had the gift, and Ed was kind of like her handler in that, is what it felt like. So that's what I'm feeling here for Miss Ed and Miss for Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm going to be doing a series here looking at all of their popular cases and the such. So stay tuned for those. And I hope that you had a great time. And I hope to see you in more readings. So if you want to leave an emoji down below, a ghost emoji, as we're going to be starting up all the stuff with Ed and Lorraine Warren. And I hope to see you guys in more videos looking up here soon. So feel free, like, subscribe, comment, and the such. So, all right, bye.